Stand back, folks, because you're going to see something really horrible looking. It's me. How you like that? All right, when I get up on, I'll start this deal. See how many people get confused over looking at this. We're going to start anyhow. Let them catch up with me. Review it, people. Hi, it's me, the owl. How y'all doing this morning? I got here a little late. I'm down by the nest site. I'm hoping to intercept either Red or Ezra coming into the nest with some sticks this morning. If we don't, after all the mess up and delay we've had, if we don't see anything in a while, we may take a walk or we might take a ride, depending on how I feel and if I can get in that car or not. On the way here this morning, I had to stop in the middle of 366. I saw something that I really had never seen before, and it was so interesting, I decided, well, this needs further watching. I was coming along, I was looking out of Cascadilla Gorge, and I see two hawks flying towards each other. I said, stopped, I was going, what are they doing? They're heading right at each other, full tilt. Well, they went just by wingtip to wingtip, they flew a circle right around each other. They both went in unison, so to speak, like that. I stood and watched, I said, you got to be kidding me. I'm actually seeing this. After they did a couple of those circles, wingtip to wingtip, they dove down towards the ground and went right straight back up in the air. They got up, I'd probably say a good 40, 50 feet above the tree line, and the one hawk turned over on her back, and the other hawk came in and grabbed her feet, and they spun spirals down to the ground. Watch that, I know what I'm seeing now. At the bottom of that spiral, they both broke away and flew up and went up in the air, and then they both flew off, heading towards the west end of campus. I just experienced watching the mating dance, and it was phenomenal. If anybody ever gets a chance in their lifetime to watch it, even if you watch it on film, watch it. It's wonderful to watch, man. I just could not believe I got to see that. And I fulfilled my little deal with the devil, so to speak. I'm going to turn you people back to the nest. And we're looking up. Oh, can I see the nest? One's so bright. There we are. Now y'all are going to sit here and look at this nest for a little while and look around while I'm talking to y'all. Hopefully we'll spot Red or Ezra coming in. Okay, there must be the windsock making deflections. I'm trying to keep this windsock in place along with the cam. Okay, I'm glad everybody understands these. I'm not going to try to speak any weird languages today to anybody. I may get a little off base and screwy at times, but, that's how the owl is. Watching those two do that dance, I started down the road again. And I started thinking about my little journey yesterday. I was watching the wires along. Where was I? 13. Hey, I found out where I was. No, it was the day before. I was on Route 13 North. I was watching some wires along there. I noticed a hawk sitting on the pole. He's just watching the field, having a good old time. You know how they are. They got more patience than I'll ever have. Well, maybe. I got thinking about their hunting techniques, and they have a wide variety of techniques they use, and a lot of people think, well, they just sit there, drop down, kill something, and fly away with it. Man, they've got so many different ways of hunting and killing things that isn't funny. And they even get a little bit ghoulish at times, if you will. I'll explain that towards the end. The one thing you see, everybody's seen the red tails on a wire. I don't care where you live, how you live, or what you've been doing. You see the red tail sitting on a wire or a post, watching the ground. The experts call that still hunting. I call it, are you kidding me? I'm sitting here and I'm waiting. When they see something what they can feed on, or they're going to try to kill to feed on, they, I forgot my 35 millimeter, rats. Well, anyhow, I'm losing it today, folks. They drop down off the pole, and naturally they kill whatever they're after. Hopefully they make a good score, and they get to eat. That's normal for them. Another type of hunting they use is very similar to pole hunting or still hunting. I got more people staring at me than I can believe today. What is going on? Am I that funny looking? Anyways, they have a perch-to-perch hunting method too, and red-tails use it, goshawks use it, some harriers will use it. They sit on a perch in a tree, and they're watching an open space for something to pop up, and they spot what they want to go after. When they spot it, if it's, now you got to remember a hawk's eyesight is phenomenal. If they see it and it sees them, they know about it. So what they'll do is they'll drop down from the branch where they're perched, go right straight to the ground, flare out at the last minute, and go on just above ground level. This takes them out of the prey's line of sight. Then they'll fly back up and land on the branch. Now, I don't care what anybody says. Everything on this planet feels relief thinking that, well, that one ain't going to eat me because he's already caught something, so the prey gets a little relaxed. That's the mistake. When the prey gets relaxed, the hawk comes off the perch and goes right straight out and grabs them. That's a post-to-post or pole-to-pole, branch-to-branch hunting. We've seen our little red tails here, especially last year, the D's practice at over here in front of the Plant Science Building. They come down out of one tree, head for the ground, swoop out, and then go up the other tree right straight up and land. I didn't quite fully understand that growing up, but I've seen it quite a few times, especially with goshawks. Them guys, those birds are phenomenal at that trick. They have that down to a science. A lot of times you'll drive down the road. Oh, come on, Red. Ezra, show up this morning. Oh, okay. I got birds coming in from the southeast, so we may get to see something here real quick. Nope, they're flaring back out. Oh, she's coming. Wow. Don't mind me, I'm fascinated with this today. These birds oh, she's coming in. Is that her? Nope. Sorry, it's a vulture. Dumb things. Lord. Huh. They're back on. Well, okay, anyhow. Where was I? Now we'll go to swoops. A lot of times I've seen goshawks and harriers and especially the little kestrels. They like to hover over a spot when they're hunting. The thing I didn't know is when they're hovering like that, they are actually in a hurry to find something to eat because the babies or they need it desperately. If they don't hover, then they'll be sitting on a post waiting. But the hovering hunting, so to speak, excuse me, it serves as a hurry up and get food, Dad, because you got to get home and feed these kids. And as usual, the male does all the hunting when the babies are in the nest. And Mama sits there and waits and says, hurry up, get home, Junior. Well, you see them hovering, and you know they're going to find something. Otherwise, they are going to be post-sitting. Another thing I've seen birds do, especially goshawks, harriers, and coopers. Of course, coopers are the masters of the woods, but if they go out in the open field, they'll swoop right down to within 2 foot of the ground. And they'll fly along, yards, 40, 50, 100 yards at a time, real close to the ground at full speed. Once they spot something they want to eat, they'll climb right up, they'll fly right straight up and come right straight down on the prey. That going along the ground like that helps them flush the prey out. And being stupid as voles and mice are, they'll move. They don't like the idea of something flying over their head. Come on, Red, where are you? Ez? Yeah. I'm looking around. What I thought was coming in was a turkey vulture, black vulture, whatever vulture. They decided it wasn't coming over here, so I'm out. Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. We've got tons of them up here. As I said before, when I was a kid, we never saw them. It's like when I was a kid, you never saw geese in this state, only in the fall and the spring. Now geese are all over the place. Vultures are all over the place. Yeah, okay, it's warming up, right? Things are changing, I guess. Tell that to a New York person, I'll tell you what, they're going to argue with you. We're under climatic change, all right. We're turning into the ice age here. Another thing I like to watch is when I've seen it happen, but it got fully explained to me by an ornithologist not too long ago. And there was some conflict of what people thought. And I just heard of some conflict last season about how falcons hunt. Prairie falcons, dry falcons, gutter falcons, however you say that word, gerfalcons, peregrines, they basically all hunt the same, except the gerfalcon likes to hunt close to the ground and flush things out. The other falcons get up in the air and they look for what they're going to kill. When they see something they want to eat, they go into a tuck and stoop, and they head down at a phenomenal speed, close to 200 miles an hour at each run. I used to think when I was younger, how the falcon knocked the bird out of the air was by hitting it with its chest. That didn't make sense to me, because, man, the chest bones in a bird are not that strong. You ever grab the wishbone out of a turkey? You can break them real easily, even when they're wet. I got looking through my book, Birds of Prey, and Dr. Ian Newton and his colleagues put in that, contrary to prior belief, a falcon uses its feet to make the initial hit. They roll the front toes under, extend the hallux straight back so the talons are curved down just a little bit, and they center punch whatever they're going to knock down. And then they head for the ground and try to get to it before it can recoup. And if it doesn't kill the bird that they're hunting or whatever they're getting after, it will stun them enough that when they get to the ground with the prey, they can dispatch it. Sometimes. Here's the ghoulish part of our little friends, the predatory birds. Not all the time are they killed. It's not enough. There are a lot of times that the prey is eaten alive. As nasty as that sounds, it happens. And I was really amazed to read that the other day. I had to stop and look that line over about a dozen times. It's like, you're kidding. I thought it was always instant kill, but man, was I wrong. Don't mind me, I'm looking around again. I'm holding the phone down. Another thing I was always under the impression of, the falcon, when I hunted, or even a red tail, if it was or any other hawk, if it was going to take prey on the wing or any prey whatsoever, was the fact that they hunted the weakest and the infirm birds or infirm prey. Nah, that's another misdemeanor. That's something that is totally false. I've never seen, if you take it into comparison, carnivorous animals hunt in packs or in prides. They will hunt down the weakest of what they're hunting. If they get into a group, say like a buffalo, zebra, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Hawks, I thought, did the same thing. Peregrines, I thought they did the same thing, but it doesn't turn out that way. Good, we got an alarm. Hold on. Okay, anyhow, when a peregrine sees a flock of pigeons flying by, they will try to find the weakest of the bunch. I'm being interrupted. Hold on a minute, please. Boy, am I glad I can hold my temper. Anyways, if a peregrine sees a flock of pigeons going by, more than likely it will seek out the weakest of the group, one that's having the most trouble. At times, I've seen peregrines take out the front pigeon of the group before, the one that is the strongest. So that blows that idea. The second thing I've seen done, when a hawk is hunting a vole, voles don't run across the African plains like a group of antelope. So there's no choice in the matter. If a hawk sees a vole, it's going to go for that vole, healthy, sick, or otherwise. So there's a lot of misconceptions on their choice of prey. Basically, we all know what hawks like to hunt during the mating season, or the time that they're raising their young. They like to get what is convenient and get to the easiest meal they can, because they got to provide food constantly. If anybody's watched the Oklahoma City owl site, Ms. T's had a larder of mice, rats, and a couple of rabbits constantly in the nest. We saw that last year at the Redtail site when Ezra was bringing back a rabbit, a couple snakes, a bird or two. They want to keep the food line filled here so that the kids can have something to eat at all times. They're busy birds. They don't slow down much. So their choices are not limited, so to speak, but they are down to, how do I say this in English? They get what is available as fast as they can, and it doesn't matter what it is as long as it's their line of eating and their line of hunting. One day it'll be a vole. 2 years ago when the C's were around, we watched them eat vole after vole after vole, then chipmunks, the yin-yang. Last year was birds, a couple little bunnies, a few snakes, chipmunks, a squirrel. It's a variety. Your peregrines, your falcon family, they're basically the bird hunters. Good conversation. Good grief. Unreal. I got college kids walking by, and I don't believe the conversations I've heard in the last 5 minutes. Are you kidding? Wow, I hope that didn't go over live stream. Good grief. Anyways, peregrines are the bird killers of the world. They love chasing birds down and smacking them. The hawks like things on the ground more or less more than things that fly, but they will chase down. And we saw it last year with D1 attacking a pigeon. And, well, we saw him go into the stoop. I've seen a couple of pictures since then of that pigeon being hit. And to be honest with you, it was phenomenal. It was on Ellen's blog site. There was a couple of pictures of him getting that pigeon. Doesn't look like our friendly little neighbors are going to show up this morning. Watch. The minute I leave, they'll come in with sticks. I'm also in view of Bradfield. I'm looking to see if there's any peregrines hanging out up there. Haven't seen a bird yet. They may have moved on to some other site. I'm hoping, because I don't really want to see Red and Ezra chased out of town. It would be sort of heartbreaking for everybody here if that happened. So I'm hoping that the two of them moved on downtown or somewhere where there is a flat roof that they can work with and not be in the middle of all these red tails that hang around up here. And there's a few of them. And there's also a pair of gosses I noticed last year. I haven't got my map with me, I'm sorry, but it was over on the north end of the campus, within the range of, well, out by the Botanical Gardens to be exact. That was within the limits of what Red and Ezra have for territory, and they were within that northern limit. They had a nest up there. I see them come out of the trees once in a while when we were chasing. It was a lot of fun to watch them. They are the speedsters. They go like a madman. And when they're after a bird, it's like an ICBM. They're locked in. You are not going to get away. I don't care how hard you try. And I've seen some goshawks do that same exact thing. As a matter of point, when I'm sitting in I have what do you want to call that thing? I have a couple of nests of my own, so to speak, tree stands, ladder stands, that I sit in during the fall and winter. Quite a few years ago, I was planted in the tree stand, sitting there watching the woods, nice and quiet, lean back, kind of a sunny day, trying not to start cutting wood myself. And this little sparrow flew by me like it was going shot out of a cannon. It was moving, and it was within 10 feet of me. Next thing I know, before I could even take a deep breath, there's a goshawk come right by me, 4 feet out, full tilt, heading for murder. It went after that sparrow, and it went around and in and up and down through the trees like a pro. The sparrow won that one. It got away. The gosh landed about 20 yards out and turned around, acted all flustered, wiggled his tail, fluffed its feathers up, more or less threw a hissy fit, and then sat there for a while. And then a little later on, it flew off. I didn't see it chase anything else, but you get a goshawk that close to you and you're 15 feet off the ground, you want to make sure you're strapped in real well because it can really mess up your psyche. Your brain goes, I'm not going to get knocked out of this tree by a hawk. And it was just a weird experience. I don't see anything happening here. It's bugging me. Wow, we're full. Hi, y'all. Full house. And I don't think anything will be landing up here on the tower at Bradfield on the antenna. This wind's blowing pretty good. Today I'm pretty sheltered from the wind with Plant Science Building, so it's helpful. But I've got to keep my hand on the tripod at all times. I just had it blow over here before I started this stunt. Almost lost a phone. That would not go over good if I had to replace this thing already. I'm glad I got insurance. I really am happy for insurance. Okay. Well, that's I've got a Bluetooth on my ear, and that thing brings in air like it isn't. It's every move you're making here, wind whistling through it, and it drives you nuts after a while. When you oh yeah, we can understand that one. Last year when I was out with Carl and Bob, we had an awful time with whistling and Bluetooth. It drove me nuts. Now let everybody know while I'm here. I just ordered my lens yesterday for this phone. So, within next week, I'll be getting it in. I'll be playing with it for a few days, trying to figure out how does this thing work. I hope I'm better at figuring out the zoom lens than I am this phone. Who the heck is that? But, you wouldn't believe all these people coming around. Huh. Wow, we're getting a full crew. Hopefully the battery will hold up long enough for me to play this game. If I don't see something in the next few minutes, we may jump into the car. Yeah, I'm not a person built for jumping into the car, believe me. I'm more of a truck person. But since my truck is no longer available, I sold it. I'm using Mama's little car, and Mama's little car and me just don't get along. I'm not real tall, but I'm built wide through the shoulders, and getting into it without smacking my skull into that low door is not a real easy thing to do. I'm beginning to feel like Brett Favre and concussion, man. Wow, are you kidding me? That hurt. But anyhow, I think in a few minutes, if you don't mind riding around in that car looking at the ceiling again, we will be taking the car and going for a little ride, see if I can't catch up with a few people or a few birds, one way or the other. Oh yeah, I'm not going to disconnect. I'll just lay the phone down and let y'all look at the ceiling. And that's always high. I got to get a dash mount for the phone. That's going to be my next one. Them aren't bad. I can get one easy enough. Yep, in probably about 3 minutes. I'm going to stand here for a few more minutes and see what we got going on. I don't see a lot going on except for weird people. Yeah. Yep. I'm surprised they ain't looking back at me. Every once in a while, we'll get that going. Nest crew will look at the ground crew, and the ground crew will look at the nest crew, and it's like, yeah, okay, I'm doing this. What are you, nuts? Leave me alone. Turn me off. Now, they're good about it. They can't put people on, so. I have no qualms of being shown on the national screen. Doesn't bother me a bit. Well, I thought Ezra would be here by now. Maybe they're off goofing off, and let's win. They might not do too much. But who the heck knows? Yeah, folks, we're going to be getting nice and cool again this week. By Wednesday, a high of 9. Come on. It was 55 out yesterday. It's 40, probably 40-something now. By the way it feels, I'd say about 43 because I'm getting warm. Oh, it's clear. You don't see that blue sky over that nest pole? This is fine. Hey, it ain't raining out. I like it. First time I've been out here without getting poured on this year. There was quite a few times last year I got poured on. Like, come on. Of course, this year I got my own cam, and I'm going to be chasing the two with them, with Carl and Baguette. So I probably imagine I'll run into more rain than usual. Well, why don't we pack this thing up? We'll keep live. I can figure out how to dislocate this beast. There it is. Ta-da! And we're going to go for a little road trip. Probably out to Reynolds.